Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Couples Coverage. This is episode 11? No, 12.
No, 12. We're at 12 now.
Yes, 12. And it kind of feels like it's been a little bit since we recorded, even though it's been about a week.
Yeah, did we record it early last week? I don't even remember, honestly.
No, I think we recorded on time last week.
Oh. Okay,
So it just feels like, like it's been a little bit.
It has. I'm Nicholas Moreano. That's
Oh,
Stephanie
I
Abonce. We are Couples Coverage. We make up the Couples Coverage podcast.
Yes. So. You do the intro more often, so it kind of like just rolls off the tongue easier for you.
Yeah, and I almost forget sometimes, like, you always have to like introduce yourself because you never know who's listening. Could be first time people, could be people. First time. You never know. So.
Actually, we did get a few more subscribers since the last one. So if this is your first or maybe second episode watching, thank you for listening and subscribing. And maybe we should just throw that reminder in right now.
Yeah.
To subscribe if you're not.
Yep. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to our Spotify. And now you can subscribe on
Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts. You did a good job getting us up on, for your Apple users. You are, not me, but a lot of people do use Apple Podcasts, but now we're on there as well.
People. Actually, I don't really know which platform people use to listen to podcasts the most. I usually do Apple Podcasts because my Spotify is usually just music for me.
Oh, okay, and then so you separate it.
Yeah, I don't know why I like to keep it separated. Even though I still subscribe to some of the same shows on Spotify, but I like to listen to them on Apple Podcast.
I'm definitely just one place, one does it all. Like Spotify is just my thing, but you have options. If you're Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube are all on there. Follow our Instagram, Couples Coverage, TikTok, Couples Coverage. So you can do all that as well.
Yes. I'm excited. That one took a little bit. So it's nice to say now we're on more.
Yeah, it was a little bit of some kind of process.
It was a process, yeah.
But we got it done.
A little bit. We got it done. I know. I was excited to show you that it was on there.
I know.
It's weird. It's weird seeing your stuff on like Spotify. You're probably used to it, but
it's still cool though. Like you see the cover art. Shout out to you, Joey, who I saw earlier in the office earlier this week. But anytime you can like see, your thing on a big platform like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is.
You're like, what am I doing on there?
Mm-hmm, yeah, like we're didn't you, when we got on Apple Podcasts, weren't we next to
New Heights,
which is I think the number one podcast with Travis Kelce and Jason
We're
Kelce.
not anywhere near there, but
no, we're in the same. Like it showed Couples Coverage, New Heights.
We literally were though, but I think it's just because it put us next to all the popular ones. Just because there's nothing else. If you search up Couples Coverage, I think it's literally the only one even like related. Not related, but like if you put it up, there's no other podcasts that come up with like similar names. So it just throws in like the more common podcasts.
It just puts all the big podcasts in one, little thing there. So yeah, it makes sense.
You'll see.
We'll see. We'll get there. We'll get there.
All right. Should we do a little recap of the week? Any new updates that we want to share? I'm trying to think. I feel like last week we had a lot of different things. Like we won the championship. We did the tailgate. It was a lot of like fun updates. But this time, I kind of feel like I don't really have too much.
As in new updates. The Bears won a football game finally, but like nothing. Nothing new.
No. Maybe just quick shout out to the movie we watched yesterday.
Oh yeah, Million Miles Away, right?
A Million Miles Away, guys.
On Amazon Video, right?
Amazon Video? Is that like Amazon Prime?
Yeah, Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you get Amazon Video. So it's like
so good.
Yeah. Jose Hernandez, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first Hispanic astronaut to go into space. Really good movie. My mom sent me the recommendation. Thank you, Mom. And I think my parents watched it, but yeah, it was really good. We watched it last night.
Lots of tears were shed.
Right over there. But no,
you did too.
It was an emotional movie. It feel good. And I don't want to spoil. I mean, it's not, I don't know if it's new or not, but Like it's hard work. You see the trials and tribulations that, he goes through, how the family has to sacrifice, how he has to sacrifice, all this stuff. But
okay, not too much, not too much.
yes, it's a really good movie though.
Really, really, really good movie. I think actually one of my top now.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, seriously, one of my top. And if you're Hispanic, like it's gonna hit different.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt.
Okay, so just shout out to that.
And we
quick.
watched that yesterday. And why did we watch that movie yesterday, babe?
Well, there were a few reasons why we watched the movie yesterday, but maybe going into the topic for this week is all about resolving conflict. Mm-hmm. So we actually got into a fight just to show you guys how we resolve conflict. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, like, wait, when did this fight happen? Was I not there? And maybe that's a problem why there's conflicts. Maybe you're not all there when you're... See? But no, that is not what happened.
No.
But continue, babe.
But we can get into a fight to show you we can get into a little
manufacture fight. A fight right here.
No, I'm kidding. We can get into that. But basically, this week we finished, or we got all caught up with Love is Blind. Mm-hmm. And honestly, that's kind of where this topic, at least to me, kind of came from, or where I got the inspiration from, because towards the end, no spoilers or anything, but towards the end of like the episodes that are out, you do see a lot of conflict between people. I don't know. I'm gonna assume most people know what Love is Blind is, but should we do a little rundown of like the concept?
Oh yeah, quick concept. Basically, you're taking
It's a reality show, by the way.
Reality show, Netflix. You're taking like the human element of like being able to actually see the person physically, taking that out of the equation. They're behind like this blue wall, and everyone's in individual rooms in the pods, right?
Yeah.
And you're speaking to these people and trying to connect on more of an emotional level as opposed to physical attraction. And so that's how these people meet, and then they propose if they want
crazy.
to. It's crazy like, ultimatums here.
It's like, don't just like find a connection. It's like at the end of this, propose.
Get married. Like it's crazy, but yeah, that's basically the whole concept. They want to make people see if an emotional connection is so strong that despite what the person looks like when they finally get to meet, that's kind of enough. They can carry those conversations that they had in the pods in the real world and stuff, and see if that connection will work. But that's kind of like Love is Blind in a nutshell.
Yeah. And then they propose if they find a match, someone that they can see themselves spending obviously the rest of their lives with, and then they try to make it to the altar. So then after the pods, they put them in these real life situations, or not even real life situations, but they basically send them back off into their real lives. Mm-hmm. And they try to just combine their lives together and then try to make it to the altar. I think it's like 3 weeks.
Yeah, something
crazy. Maybe 6 weeks. I don't know.
Like how many seasons now? This is like what season?
I think it's season 5. I'm not too sure.
Okay. But yeah, that's Love is Blind. And I'm pretty sure people, honestly, if you listen to couples coverage, maybe you're like into that kind of stuff too. Yeah. But you were kind of talking about how, like, where we're caught up, where I think it's the latest episode, like, there's been some conflict.
Yeah, there's been a lot of conflict. And again, I don't want to say too much. I don't want to have any spoilers out there. But it did, honestly, sometimes watching these shows, it kind of sparks conversations that we wouldn't naturally have, because we're seeing these situations play out for people. Mm-hmm. And even if we haven't gone through them, we're like, oh, how would you handle that? Or like, it kind of sparks conversation between us. And I kind of feel like that's what we're going to do with this topic. Just talk about like resolving conflict and maybe how what we've learned in our relationship.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's the whole concept here. And like, again, those shows can show you what you can do, what you shouldn't do, maybe what you can adopt in a sense and like to try. But again, it is like reality TV in a way too. So it's like, I don't know how much of it is. I'm pretty sure a lot of it's real, but I don't know. But yeah, I remember like in the latest episode, we're talking about some of the circumstances and situations that some of the people were in. We're like, ooh, that probably wasn't the best way to handle X, Y, and Z situation. But that's kind of where it sparked. But we were talking about why we had a movie night last night, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you were, I don't know, what you were kind of like in a mood where, what? How would you describe it?
How would I describe my mood yesterday?
Yeah. I could tell you were kind of upset about
Mm-hmm.
something. And I can immediately tell. I
Yeah.
know when you're upset, even through it's like text message
Yeah.
or on the phone. Even when I called you on the phone, I'm like, something's a little off. But I know our little dog Brady wasn't helping in any way. But I could tell you were upset, and so when it got here, I can tell the mood.
Mm-hmm.
How you were, and then I'm like, well, Tuesdays are like we were talking about movies. I think the day before, right? And I remember I kind of had almost a plan of what I wanted to do that day when I got back, but because you were, you were a little upset, I wanted to change that. And like, let's have that movie day. My mom recommended a movie. Let's watch it.
Mm-hmm.
What is your guilty pleasure gonna make you feel good, probably regardless of whatever happens? It's freaking Taco Bell. So I'm like, and you said you already ate. And I'm like, okay, but a Fiesta veggie burrito you're not gonna eat it? They're like, yeah, you're gonna.
No,
eat
I
it.
will.
Yeah, you will. And then we also got the frozen Baja Blast, which you had never had before. So
I was telling him, I'm like, I don't need Taco Bell. I don't need added reasons to keep going.
that's true.
Because we have one like 4 minutes away. Literally how I know it's actually 4 minutes away.
It's like 2.3 miles.
Well, anyways, it's really close. I don't need a reason to keep going. And this is my first time ever trying Baja Blast. And it was amazing. I think I was being annoying. I was trying to get like every last sip.
But
like crying, but like trying to get every last sip.
And we made some popcorn and we just watched the movie. And so again, it was one way of just trying to make the situation a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think yesterday was a combination of things. It's hard. It's still always very hard for me. We can get into this. It's always very hard for me to like vocalize how I'm feeling because sometimes it's like a mix of things, I know a lot of people out there probably understand that when it's not one specific thing. And yesterday it was just a combination. Combination. I always think of the Drake thing.
What does he say? What are the 3 words he says?
Madness.
Badness.
Combination.
I don't even know what song that's from. I just know that, like, whatever. Is that from the new album or something?
I don't think it's from the new album. I think it's older, but
badness combination.
I can't hear that word without just trying to put the accent to it now. Combination.
Now I'm gonna like write an article and be like combination. I'm gonna be like writing it out and then just in my mind.
Oh, Drake. Okay, anyways.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
It was a combination of things.
It's a combination of things. Now I feel like I'm gonna have like the giggles a little bit. Yes, it was a combination of things. No, Brady was not helping because Brady, we've mentioned before, he's like terrified of a lot of different things. And it's really hard for me personally to get him out. He's also like a medium-sized dog, so and he's
about
really
40
strong,
pounds.
but he's really strong. He's like all muscle. So it's just hard for me to get him out. And when it's been a long time, like I feel guilty because I know he should be going out, but he doesn't want to. Like this dog will stay indoors all day if he could. Except the mornings.
Indoors here at the apartment, but at my parents' house, who at the backyard, he likes being out. He's weird. He's just a strange little. I was gonna say cat, but strange cat, but strange dog.
Yeah, I always have this theory that it's because he knows a lot of other dogs live here, and like he sniffs out other dogs, so he knows it's not his, and so he doesn't want to go out. That's my theory.
I think it's just weird.
I don't know. The point is, it's really hard to get him out. And when it's been a long day and I can't get him, I just feel really like hopeless or helpless. And it sucks. Anyways, that's something that we kind of deal with on a day-to-day basis. But I don't know. We're trying to maybe look into some more training for him.
I think he definitely needs it.
The other thing that was putting me in a mood. So yesterday was your off day, but you literally had like a longer day than you normally do when it's a work day. So that was kind of like upsetting a little bit.
I did not know this. Well, I went to go get treatment on my ankle.
Yeah.
And had to go to the city to go get the treatment, which all good because now my ankle's feeling great.
Exactly, which is why I didn't want to bring it up, because it's like you went for a good reason. I was so glad you went. You got treatment. He's been complaining about his ankle. You've been having a lot of like tightness in your ankle for a while.
Yeah.
So I've told you before, like we have literally you have 3 PT friends.
Yeah, probably even more. But yeah, I have plenty of people that could have probably checked me out earlier, but I finally did it yesterday.
Yeah. So again, it was like I couldn't be mad at it because it was for a good reason, but it does like kind of stink in a way because it's like your day off, even though you don't ever really have full days off.
No, Tuesdays are my watching film day.
Exactly. So anyways, that was the issue yesterday, but I was really glad that we were able to spend some time together and ended off on like a good note. But again, so this kind of goes.
I thought you were like, you told me because you were inside most of the day.
Yeah, that too. See, it was told you combination of things. It was that, and then me also. I struggle a lot. I think I've mentioned on another podcast before. Like I didn't realize that I need a lot of like interaction throughout my day because I do work from home a lot and I'm working out of a laptop, and it's just been like a really big transition for me and something I'm still getting used to. So I think that also plays into it, like me being alone all day and then you're gone on your day off and then I'm here by myself like most of the day. So it was just like a combination of things.
Gotcha,
How many times? Take a shot every time I say combination.
I don't think our viewers and listeners would make it to the show with all the times we've mentioned it jokingly, and now when we're just kind of talking.
Yeah.
I will not mention that word for the rest of this podcast, however long it goes.
Yeah.
I'll see.
We'll see. But yes. So I guess I wanted to kind of go into our different like communication styles. So how would you say? You kind of mentioned it a little bit. Like, how do you go about like conflicts or whenever you feel like I'm in a mood?
I want to know the source of it right away. I want to do whatever I can to resolve it so it doesn't linger immediately. And that's just my approach, because I feel like for me, one, I don't want you to feel whatever it is that you're feeling to linger. But also for me, like I think about things too. Like what did I do, or what can I do to make this situation better? So then like yesterday, like, what's wrong? And then no response. What's wrong? Like I don't want to get it out of the way just to get it out of the way. Like that's not the reasoning for it. I just don't want things to just continue to maybe even build up. And I just don't want you to feel that way for a longer period of time. And so that's why, for me, I'd rather like talk it out right then and there, try to find the best solution. But like you said, it's maybe sometimes difficult for you to kind of just vocalize what exactly is wrong at that moment in time. But for me, like I don't almost selfishly, like I don't want to like feel this way either because you're feeling that way. So that's why I'd rather find a solution.
Because you think you did something wrong?
It could be that, and also like then I'm like and then I'm thinking like, well, what did I do, or
what could it be,
and like how can we make this better? And then it almost kind of things that I have to do, all other things, like I kind of have to put that away or shove it down the road because I want to get this, resolved right now. So it kind of impacts everything. But yeah, that's my approach. Just kind of let's get down to it. Let's talk this out and let's be better right now.
Yeah. This kind of, okay, so when we obviously weren't living together before, and I was in a mood, it's funny because you can pick up on it. I always say that I'm just like, you can read me so easily. I know that I'm not good at coming across a certain way if I feel like the opposite. You can see it on my face. You can hear it in my voice. I'm just like not good at masking whatever I'm feeling. And at this point, you know me really well. So if my texting is off or if my voice is off, you know something's wrong.
Easily.
But I remember before when I wasn't ready to talk about something, I would try really hard to make myself like sound as normal as possible through text. Because if I didn't, I knew I was going to immediately get a call from you. And it was like, I'm not ready to talk about it. So, but again, I wasn't even the best through texting because you would always pick up on it.
So when you're not ready, is it because you're still trying to process what's making you feel the way that you're feeling? Or is it you just don't want to have that conversation right now? Or you want to put it off? What do you think? And maybe it's different in, different situations, but what do you think is the reasoning for almost wanting to wait a little bit before addressing it right then and there?
I think I just need time to process my own emotions. And if I'm getting asked like right away in the middle of it, I almost feel like I haven't like really processed yet like what's making me upset or how I want to approach it. Because if I'm going to talk to you while I'm mad, like I don't think it's going to go anywhere. We've had conflicts before where we're both heated and it doesn't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's true.
So I just like to like process for a little bit. Or in some cases, I know there are other reasons or other factors that are making me feel more like irritable in that moment. Whether it's like my time of the month or if I had a bad day at work or whatever it may be, other things are going to irritate me and there's no point in telling you about it because I know it doesn't really have a lot to do with you. It's more just like a bunch of other stuff.
No, I get that. Okay, I think we're gonna take a quick break because I have a question for you right after that. That also, I'm curious to see what your opinion is on it. But as you guys know, couples coverage and Owen, great partnership, great
combination.
I didn't say it, you did, so I'm still good at not saying it. But Owen stands for Only What You Need. If you're looking for a new protein shake and a non-dairy protein shake that has all the essential ingredients, you got to check out Owen because they're 100% plant-based nutrition. They have 500 milligrams of omega-3s, green blends, excellent source of fiber, and essential amino acids. So if you're just looking for something that, one, tastes good, you're going to feel good after drinking it, you got to check out Owen and all the great flavors. This one right here is a sea-salted caramel, however you want to pronounce it. This is one of my favorites. The dark chocolate one's also really good. They have some fall ones as well that you got to check out. But if you're looking for pre-made shakes, protein powders, meal supplements, Owen's got your back. And here's the most important part about everything that has to be associated with Owen. If you use the code CC15 at checkout, you actually save 15% off your entire order. So you can stock up on everything that you want from Owen. Use that code CC15. You save 15% off, and a percentage of that comes back to us. Will support us here at Couples Coverage. So check out Owen, liveowen.com. Use that code CC15 and get 15% off your entire order. Thank you, Owen.
Thanks, Owen.
What I wanted to ask you is, do you wish that I would give you more time sometimes? Because you know how I am. I'm like, I'm kind of, I guess I'm pressing sometimes. Like, what's wrong? And like, maybe you don't say it right away, but do you also maybe want me to figure it out? Is that a thing too? Like, if you're mad,
if I'm actually mad at something you did, sometimes I'm like,
figure it
How
out.
do you not know? Yeah. But I will say no, I wouldn't change it because it does make me feel good knowing that you care and that you want to resolve things. And if you didn't, if I was obviously mad about something and you just gave my space without addressing it, I would be like probably more mad.
Yeah. Well, I know that could be a tactic that works for other people though.
What?
Like if you're one of the, either your significant other or yourself is like heated, you just need to give them their space, maybe even leaving and letting them compartmentalize what exactly is going on and then coming back like, hey, do you want to talk about it now? That's definitely something that I know other people, maybe it works for them in their relationship, but yeah, I don't know if it would sit right if I just kind of quote unquote like left and didn't like even address like the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
It just would, I probably wouldn't feel good about it. And obviously just hearing what you said, you wouldn't either.
No, I don't think I would feel good. Maybe if I was really not wanting to talk about it in that moment, because here's the thing, like we've had situations where you do like ask me and you pull it out of me and then I feel better because again, I'm not always the best with conflict. So let's say even if I did know exactly what was bothering me and I can pinpoint it, or you did something that actually upset me, I feel like, I don't know, you pulling it out of me helps because it's not easy for me.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess for me, like I do it. I know that you kind of it's hard to do sometimes, and so I think it just helps to like ask questions and then kind of let you bit by bit kind of say whatever it is, and so I feel like I'm comfortable doing that. I mean, like I feel like having a background just asking questions as a journalist, I think that does kind of help a little bit, just like finding what the source of things are and letting it come out bit by bit, but. I don't ever really expect to get it all at once, but I think it's a tactic that's worked for us when things, and thankfully, like we don't get in like a lot of like, again, confrontations or arguments, verbal or anything like that. So it's nice that when we do, we know how to approach them at times, right? I mean, we know how to approach them, and then it does help that, we've kind of had some of those experiences though.
Yeah. Something else that also I think was hard for me was that it always felt like I was the one who was upset at something, because you are very like easygoing, laid back, not a lot bothers you.
Does that bother you?
Yes, and sometimes it bothers me because it's like you wouldn't even get it because like this stuff doesn't bother you, but it bothers me. So sometimes like if something's upsetting me, it always feels like it's always me who's upset at something, and I don't like that feeling. I don't like feeling like I'm always the one who's mad about something. I don't like that. But it's just because really things don't bother you as much, or maybe because I'm just like so perfect. I'm kidding.
Well, it's not that things don't bother me, because I've, come back to the apartment like something maybe with work or something else, and I'm like,
I was like, what?
Like obviously, I've told you things, but yeah, it's not that things don't bother me. It's just like you said, I guess I am pretty easygoing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I just don't vocalize a lot of things, because there really is not a lot of things, not gonna lie. So it's kind of nice, but again, it does put you in a situation where you kind of say, maybe, well, I'm the only one who can relate to this because I'm the only one who
gets mad about something.
Yeah,
like
exactly. But no, I like to talk things out though.
Yeah. But when we say that, I mean like relationship stuff. Like I'm always the one who comes to you and is like, hey, like maybe I need some more time together, or I need this from you this week, or I need more attention from you this week, whatever it may be, and you're very like just chill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think too, like, it's harder on because I know, again, that my job just it does take a lot of our time away.
Yeah.
And so that's why when you do come to me like saying, "Hey, can we?" or "How long are you going to be working today?" like, or like, when are you going to stop or whatever? Well, I know it's because you want to hang out. Like, I do understand that. So I completely understand where they're coming, or where like your thought process is coming from. Like, it's not just doing it to do it. Like, it's because I probably have been kind of away or doing something else, and I should be trying to allocate. That's why yesterday, movie day, Taco Bell, hang out, put the phone to the side. Like, popcorn. I don't think we didn't even pick up our, like, we were that like engaged with the movie and just kind of being present.
Yeah.
Which is always a good thing. You have to do that. It's just, that's how you compensate and how you make, I think, any relationship work. Like, you have to recognize when things are bothering your significant other. And at some point, like, hey, you got to push that to the side. That's okay. And then hang out. And I think that's just something that keeps a relationship healthy.
Yeah, no, it did really help. And again, like, I think sometimes I've even said it to myself, like, you know what, maybe one day I won't care. Like, if you want to work all night, sure. But no, I don't want that to happen. So if it upsets me, I think it's for a good reason, you know?
Yeah, no, I've always found it funny. It's like, oh yeah, Lennon, I don't know. We've maybe even mentioned on like the podcast before, where it's like, yeah, the wife's on a cruise, and you know the husband's he's out with the guys. Like, thank goodness, you know, or something like that. Sure, maybe there will definitely be times like that. Like, everyone needs their own personal space, but we like being around each other. We like hanging out. So it makes sense that we're not like, you know, we're not like that. We're 4 years into our relationship, you know. So,
and I still want more time with you.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. Anyways, okay, so maybe that's a good problem to have. I'd rather have it be this way than me just not care, you know?
Exactly. Gosh, I'm trying to remember if probably some sports analogy, but it's like, if you care, that's obviously still a good sign, as opposed to like not giving it a shit, you know, in the first place. Like, as long as you care, I mean, that's where really, how fans react to like a team losing. You know, if they weren't showing up to the stadium, that's how you know you lost it. But if they're like booing or showing that emotion, that's how you know they still care. It's almost kind of like a similar analogy, but
I could see that.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's good. It's good that people get pissed.
Showing the emotion, have to. That's how you know things are still obviously very good.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so moving on. I think something else was that you don't have sisters.
Nope. I have 2 younger brothers.
So I did want to ask you, does it feel hard for you to relate, or not relate, because we already know sometimes you don't relate. Stuff I get mad about. But is it hard for you to understand you know, just like the emotions of a woman, and a double cancer woman? Very emotional.
Yes, it is difficult for me to sometimes relate with, again, just some of the emotions that you kind of go through. And I would say, growing up with my 2 younger brothers, it's not like we were every day talking about like how our days were or, you know, even anything like that. That just kind of wasn't our thing. Like, and obviously you're very connected with your 2 younger sisters, and obviously you have an older brother as well. But yeah, like some of the things that maybe you're going through, I'm like, why? Or like, you know, why is this so consistent, I guess? Or like, why can't it be so consistent? But again, we just, growing up, my brothers and I, we really didn't talk about
feelings,
the
emotions.
feeling, and didn't really talk about that too much with my parents either, unless something was really, really bothering me or something was really up. But that, I can almost like count maybe like on my 2 hands how many times that's probably happened, which I don't know if that's not a good thing, bad thing, but that's just how we were. We're fine too. But yeah, there are some times where I see like, she needs a little bit more attention today, or like I could just feel that, and it's like I'm definitely not. I'm just not like that as much.
Yeah.
So it can be a little difficult at times.
See, this is this is why it's hard, and why sometimes I am hesitant, because I think when you are feeling a certain way, or if you're going through conflict, like you just want to feel like seen and heard. And if you feel like you're talking to someone who just doesn't really understand what you're going through, it's hard. It's hard to like really open up or share. Maybe that's why it doesn't, come as easy to me, because I'm like, I know you're not going to understand this at all. But sometimes that's not the point. Sometimes it's just like being there, which I know you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you, even though like we said earlier, it can be a little difficult at first to like get it out of you, but you still do. And I think that's come over time.
Yeah.
With me, I think my what my intentions are, just to understand the situation, and so that we can be better ultimately after it, whatever it is that we're dealing with.
You want to make sure you're not in the doghouse.
Yeah, I'm usually not. When have I ever been in the doghouse?
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. But I think you've, over the years, us two as a relationship, we've just grown more comfortable with each other, to where if there is something bothering you, I don't think it takes as long either at this point for you to kind of eventually express what it is that you're has you upset, or whatever it may be. So again, that comes with experience and time.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't know. I don't like feeling that way. And again, it doesn't happen very often with us. But when it does, and I feel like lately, when it has more to do with other things than anything you did. If anything, I just want you to be there.
Yep. And that's what I try to be. Like,
yeah.
And that's the very least thing that the least thing you can do, I should say.
As a partner?
Just be there.
Yeah.
Just listen.
Mm-hmm.
Listening is huge. And like actually actively listening, not just kind of being like physically there, like being emotionally there as well. Like that's very super important.
Yeah.
I know, going back to Love is Blind, like I feel like some of those people are just there, and they're not actually like comprehending what's actually being said, and like taking that into account, and trying to give the proper response for the situation they're in. But yeah, just the least thing you can do is just be there, listen, and provide comfort if you can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Providing comfort. I know. I like that you said actively listening, because I feel like sometimes people go or take the approach of like wanting to, like, I don't know, like if you're venting to someone, sometimes they don't need you to provide a solution for them.
Mm-hmm.
They just want you to listen.
Yeah.
And that's big, because sometimes you don't want to hear, all the reasons or all the different things you can do to make it better. Sometimes, yes, it's necessary and you need that too, that like voice of reason. But sometimes you just want to vent and like get it out.
Was that show The Ultimatum with that one dude who was basically like nothing he did was wrong, or he was never wrong?
Oh my god.
Yeah, you know the guy I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's another show, The Ultimatum, that we've watched.
You know what's funny? It's always me who starts off watching these shows, and then like Nick will be working or he'll be eating or something, and then he just gets like sucked right into the drama.
Maybe it's because I know like that's a good way to
bond.
Watch these reality TV shows. They're entertaining.
They are,
and they're dumb, but they're entertaining.
Yeah, very.
So I don't mind watching them. It's not my first choice, but
I just love hearing. I'm someone who I don't like watching shows by myself. I will if I have to. Like, I'm not going to force you to watch anything with me, but I don't force you to watch anything.
I know Pilot Pete.
That was like 5 seasons ago.
Yeah, I was forced.
Were you actually that time?
I don't know. I probably got into it eventually.
Forced.
Is that during COVID?
Yeah, that must have been during COVID times.
That was the last Bachelor
That I've
right?
watched?
that I've watched.
Probably. It's probably the last one I watched, too.
Now there's the Golden Bachelor.
We have to watch that, actually.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it. I don't think I'm gonna watch that one.
I think I'm going to play it, and you're going to eventually watch it with me.
What are these old 50-year-old, 60-year-old
Hey,
people
they need
gonna...
love, too.
Well, no. I'm just saying, what are they fighting about? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know. Like,
yeah.
That's gonna be that would be interesting to watch if I was interested in watching it, but I'm not.
We'll see. You know what? I was thinking the same thing. Like, what are these older people like fighting about? You know, like
401ks, life savings.
What are these people? What kind of drama are they gonna give? But I used to watch Dance Moms, and I saw how much drama like moms can bring. Obviously, that's a completely different scenario, but I'm like, I guess, you know, they had way more drama than any freaking high school I ever went to.
They go through it.
That I ever went to, as if I went to many
High schools.
Yeah.
And like you went to one.
Anyways, okay, back to what we were saying. Wait, what were we saying?
Resolving conflict.
Resolving conflict.
That's the whole topic of the show.
Yeah. Active listening.
Active listening. Yes.
Yes. And not needing to always provide solutions, just listening.
That's actually that's a really good thing to bring up. Like I feel like we all know people that instead of being just the, you know, opening up their ears and just actually wanting to listen to your problems, they're like, oh, but you should do this. You should this is how you can like solve this problem. Like, no, dude, I don't need you to give me solutions. I just need you to hear me out.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows somebody like that who's just trying to provide that response, that solution. It's like, no. I didn't ask for your. I just need you to listen, okay?
Yeah.
I just need someone to listen to me. Let me vent. Don't give me solutions yet. Shush.
Yeah. Especially if you're
point.
still heated for whatever reason. It's like, no, it's not. I don't want to be reasonable right now. I just want to be angry. But speaking of being like reasonable, I am very grateful that we both are very reasonable people, and that I think that's why we don't really have a lot of, you know, arguments, or we don't really bicker a lot, because I do feel like I'm very reasonable. And again, if I feel like it's something that is causing me to feel more irritated, I don't always feel like I have to share. Maybe I can just deal with it, and then I'll sleep it off and wake up and feel better. But I don't know. What do you think?
I think we know too what we can do to prevent some things from coming up. Like even around the apartment, like, I don't know if you noticed, but I've been trying to, every time there are dishes, like I've been pretty good at like washing them and putting them away like the next day. Like I know like those things can add up.
Yes.
And keep, like, again, gym bag is in its proper place right now. After I got back from the gym. Like simple, I think knowing if you can prevent things and knowing what irritates your significant other, if you can take those out of the equation before they become a problem, that's a way to prevent confrontations from happening.
Yeah.
So I think that's also something, again, you kind of learn and know. You pick and choose your battles, and
yes,
you can.
That's another one.
Yeah,
pick and choose your battles.
Yep, I think that's really important too.
Yeah, because I know there are some people out there who it's like word vomit. Like they just want to like hop on any opportunity to like call someone out, and it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be. I don't like being mad. I don't like being angry about anything. So I you know, even if it makes me mad, I'm gonna pick and choose my battles.
Yeah, I think it's just smart too. Like don't make something very little become a bigger than what it is.
But sometimes bigger things can make little things be the reason why you blow up. If you let things build up, you know what I mean?
bigger things
can make small things be like let's say like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Oh, okay, I get you. Yes, especially if it continues happening.
Yeah, if it continues happening, or if you keep.
Wait, wouldn't that be small things could be a bigger problem?
I guess I can see both ways.
Bigger things can be a smaller problem, meaning that they wouldn't be an issue, because I don't know. I lost track.
Basically,
of my
what
thought.
I'm saying, or what I'm trying to say, is that if you keep sweeping things under the rug, or if you keep like not saying things that bother you, because for example, like maybe if I don't want to, I don't know, like I can brush stuff off and get over it, and it won't come up again. But like, let's say something continues to come up and I keep getting irritated, I should be able to speak to you about it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Because if I don't, then something
just keeps piling
yeah,
up.
it's just gonna keep piling up until I snap on you.
I get that, yeah.
Which is just an example. I don't feel like I really ever snap on you. But yeah, so honestly, we're not here to we're just here to share. Our relationship isn't perfect. I don't think any relationship is perfect. So we're not here to give advice or how you should go about it. We're just kind of speaking on our own experience and what we kind of go through and how we kind of deal with things. Not saying it's the right way. I do wish sometimes that I could come to you more easily, but that's just my own thing that I need to get better at. And I don't think there's anything you could do differently that would make me change that. That's just something I have to work on, because I think you're doing everything right. Whenever we do have arguments, for the most part, you acknowledge it, that it's there.
I will
and you
say
try
this.
to make me feel better.
Yeah, I do. I think for me, I still feel like recognizing when I've done something, wrong or whatever, and just figure oh, I didn't do that. That's why you're mad. Oops.
Oh.
I definitely, I think I can still obviously work on that. But yeah, we're not relationship experts, and obviously, that if you're watching this, we do this podcast. We talk about our experiences, share our stories. That's what it's all about. But if you feel like you relate to some of the things we've said, that's awesome. If not, if you don't agree with us, that's also awesome as well. But just here to kind of share what's worked and what hasn't worked in our relationship. But I think this is a great topic, and it's all sparks from, I guess, Love is Blind and Taco Bell. No, I'm just kidding.
This is tough. I do want to know, I want to hear what people, if there's anything that has really worked. I want to hear it, because maybe other people who are watching this might see that and might start using it in their relationships as well. Is there any system that you guys do? If there's a conflict, what do you guys do? Yeah,
any tactics that has worked or hasn't worked, leave it in the comments. We need more of these comments on these videos. So definitely put it down if you agree with something that we said, or if you just like us, you can just put a comment hey, you're doing great. That's always awesome to hear. But I think, is that a wrap on episode 12?
Is it a wrap?
I mean,
I don't know how long this episode is. It
we're about 40? to get to 50 minutes here. So
these always go by so fast. I was gonna say I felt like we should have kept talking, but that's usually what we do. It's 48-ish minutes, 50-ish minutes.
Yeah. So
so right around there. I also do want to know if you've gotten to the end of this podcast. Let us know of any other topics that you guys want us to do.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I know earlier on there was a couple of people saying they wanted to see us do a challenge or something. So we're going to try to come up with that.
Find a fun challenge.
Find something fun that we can do on here.
Put it on our Instagram account or TikTok or YouTube short, something like that. We can definitely do more of a challenge thing, or maybe we could do something here on the podcast. But yeah, that'd be fun to do. I always like doing challenges or being competitive with you, so that'll be a fun time. But that's gonna do it. It's gonna wrap up episode 12. appreciate everybody for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Also, again, check out and use that code CC15 at checkout to save 15% off your first order. But appreciate everyone who has tuned in, watched, download any of our previous 11 episodes. And for any newcomers who watch episode 12 and how to deal with conflicts, now you know. Or now you know how we kind of deal with conflicts. So appreciate everybody, but we'll be back next week. And definitely leave in the comments any topics that you want us to discuss. Feel free. Like, we're always open to suggestions and things to talk about. But for like the 12th time in these last 2 minutes, appreciate all of you. We will see you next week. Adios.
Bye.